Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hillman here. For those of you who are new, I am Hillman, medical doctor in the Netherlands from Cameroon initially, and I've been living in the Netherlands for like 8 years now. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my journey through medical school. So basically my journey of becoming a medical doctor in the Netherlands. And this is going to be a series, so it's going to be a compilation of different videos. So be sure to let me know in the comment section if there's other videos you want to see, things you want to hear me talk about specifically about my journey to becoming a doctor in the Netherlands. And I'll be sure to make videos about that as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to subscribe so you're updated with the next videos coming as well. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the first part, which is basically why did I decide to study medicine? And of all places I could study medicine as someone from Cameroon, why did I choose the Netherlands? And how was the application procedure for me? So this video is going to be about the process leading up to actually studying medicine, to give you guys insights on how that went for me. So if you're like an African with a similar background or someone who's an international student trying to apply here as well, you have insights on what to take into consideration based on my story. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Why did I choose to study medicine in the Netherlands? I had always been good at biology, math, sciences basically. And when I left high school in Cameroon, so I did high school in Cameroon and then I did half a year of university in Cameroon studying computer science. Because I knew I was going to come to Europe later, so I wanted to learn how to use computers. Little did I know, computer science is not the program that will teach you how to use computers on a basic fundamental level. So the goal back then when I finished, even though everyone thought I was going to study medicine, family, teachers and everything, because I was good at biology, I was good at sciences, and it's kind of the expectations in our communities when you're good at those things, you either go engineering or medicine if you're in the sciences, and then the arts is law. But I always had a rebellious mind, I think. I only realized that when I moved here and I could think for myself. But I wanted to study artificial intelligence because my goal has always been to help people. So I was like, if I can take the human brain, which I'm so fascinated by, put it in something artificial and get that thing to do stuff for humans, wow, life would be so easier. So I wanted to study artificial intelligence. When I moved to the Netherlands, I had to convince my family to let me come because they wanted me to study medicine in Cameroon, and that was an easier path. So like if I was coming to Europe, I would have had to like come study medicine here as well. So I had to like talk my way through that in a very tactical, strategic way. But eventually I came to Europe, and when I moved to come here, I came with family. And the choice to come to Europe, because I got scholarships to America, then of course in America I'll go do an undergrad, and then I got scholarships to go to Germany, I would go do undergrad as well. But Germany, the program was an engineering program, it was the freshman program at the time, and then I could come to family in the Netherlands. And ultimately, looking at the financial picture, it was cheaper for me to come here because 5 years of uni in the Netherlands for me, because of the family, would be cheaper than 1 year in America. And I would not be on a student visa in the Netherlands, whereas I'll be on a student visa in America and Germany. So for me, it made more sense to come here. So I came here and I tried to apply for artificial intelligence programs. But back in the time, there were no bachelor programs for that. There were only master programs. So I was like, okay, what else can I use to help people? Because the goal has always been to help people. So what else can I use to help people to achieve the goal? Medicine was in the back of my mind because everyone had expected it. So I was like, what if I actually can study medicine here? So I checked, and there were some English programs here in Maastricht University and Groningen University. And I couldn't speak Dutch at the time. So I was like, I'm not going to start in Dutch because I need to, take time to learn the language and everything. I was eventually going to learn the language for my integration, but I was like, while I'm studying medicine, I can also improve my language skills. So by the time I'm done with the bachelor's, my language skills are enough for me to do the master's. Because you can do the bachelor's in English, but you always have to do the master's in Dutch, regardless of what university you go to. So that was something for me which I thought about. I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can make medicine work. And then came the application procedure. So you have to apply for medicine, right? And I was looking at Maastricht and Groningen, and I went there and I did my due diligence. I went to the universities to check out the city, the faculties, the facilities. How do I vibe with the city? Groningen was not a vibe. It did not pass the vibe check for me. So I went to Maastricht, liked the city, liked the program, liked what they were saying about PBL and how practical the program was. So I put all my eggs in that basket because you can only apply for one university, medicine, per year in the Netherlands. So I went for Maastricht University, and then came the application procedure of just your diplomas, giving the university everything they need to say, okay, you are up to the level of our high school graduates, as a result of which you can apply for the program. And that for me was a cumbersome process. Like that was a process which could easily, looking back at it now, easily have gotten you to believe, okay, maybe it's not meant to be. Let me just drop this thing. Because the documentations I had to prove. The first thing is, when I came here, you have to, because of the integration process, you have to apply to a government institution called NOFIC, and they're going to evaluate your diploma and tell you if your diploma is up to their standard or not for you to be able to go to university. And they told me that my degree was equal to HAVO 5. And in the Netherlands, HAVO 5, what that translates to in my situation is I would have to learn the language, then go back to high school. Mind you, I had been done with high school in Cameroon and I'd done one of university, but I'll have to go back to HAVO 5. After learning the language, do HAVO 5 and then do VWO 5 and VWO 6, or just do VWO 6. But that will be definitely at least 2 years of high school still before I can apply to university. So that's at least a 3-year detour. Considering the fact that if you can learn the language in 1 year, enough for high school, then it will be 3 years in total, at least, before you can actually apply to university. And I was sitting there and I was like, this country would frustrate your life. This country would really, and I've heard a lot of people who actually, they tell them that and they go do it. And I'm like, I don't know what was in me that gave me so much confidence about my pre-knowledge, because the thing is, in Cameroon, our theory knowledge is solid. Like, we cannot put that into practice. Don't tell us how electrodes actually work in real life. We will not know how to do that thing. But if it's for us to explain to you theoretically how electrodes work, we will tell you everything. We cannot put it into practice because we don't have the facilities for that. We never learned that way. But theory-wise, we are good. So you cannot tell me that my knowledge is not enough to go to university. And that was a strong conviction I had. So I was like, you know what? Government, I hear what you're saying, but I would appeal. So I appealed it, told them I went to university. Thankfully, I had my transcripts from university in Cameroon as well. That's why it's really important to keep these things, no matter how irrelevant they may seem in the moment. Those transcripts can really come in clutch at some point. For me, they did. So I submitted the transcripts and they responded to me saying, we are not sure if your level is up to that level. Based on your university education in Cameroon, we think you might be that level, but we'll let the university decide. The university you're applying to in that case. I'm like, bon, okay, I'll take it. I'll work with that. It's not like the university needs the evaluation anyways. It's just the evaluation is good in case you want to do other things in the country. So I had that, and then I applied to the university, and the university did their own independent check. And when I tell you I had to submit documents, wow. I'm talking my final exams in Cameroon, the questions from the final exam I took, so that particular year, the questions from that year, I had to get records from my high school saying exactly how many hours I spent studying math, biology, chemistry, physics, exactly how many hours for the 7 years I was in that school. I had to do, like, for Latin as well, extracurricular activities, like how much time I spent playing basketball, how much time I spent doing public speaking, journalism, and all these things. Like, exactly all these things had to be filled in, signed by the deans or the rectors of the college, of the high school, shipped by post with my transcripts from university, transcripts from high school, all the 7 years. Then I had to also get recommendation letters from teachers and principals. I had to get from the exam board of Cameroon, the exact questions and the syllabus for the years I was there for all those subjects. And all this had to be sent physically. Mind you, people who apply to this university with an IB diploma just have to send a diploma. Like, worst case, they have to send a transcript, but they don't have to go through 1/10 of as much as I had to go through with this application procedure. Of course, I only know this retrospectively. So at the moment, I was just doing what I had to do. So I compiled all those documents and sent them to the university. And then the next thing was, is it going to be enough? Because I know the university is really strict and the standards here are really high. So I'm like, what if they tell me I have a deficiency in physics or chemistry and I have to write this again? And mind you, I've been out of school at this point for like a year. So all my physics knowledge, even though I had an A grade in physics, which was like a miracle in and of itself, all my physics knowledge was gone. So on that certificate, it says A grade in physics, but please do not expect me to go take a physics exam now in Dutch in the Netherlands. Who do you think I am? Who do you think I am? So I was hoping I'll have no deficiencies. And I remember vividly the day I had to like get the email saying I got no deficiencies and I was okay for all the subjects of biology, chemistry, physics, and math. The joy I felt, I was in the gym, the joy I felt that day is immeasurable. Like, that joy, I can still, when I think about that day, I can still physically, like viscerally feel how I felt that day. So that was a really good thing. But of course, that only says you are allowed to participate in the selection, like you are eligible to apply for the program. So it's not the application. So I still had to write the portfolio, motivation letter. I still had to sell myself. Selling myself was a big one, which I was not used to. But I had some Dutch friends whose parents helped me like sell myself. Okay, what am I good at? Because where I come from, you don't necessarily tell what you're good at because it sounds like you're bragging. So I had to learn that. I had to learn how to like write a motivation letter and actually like sell myself and show what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, and like paint them a picture of who I am, because they don't know who I am and they're gonna judge me based on that motivation letter and the portfolio I can come up with. So that was a big thing for me, which was a steep learning curve as well. But eventually we got through that too. Went to the selection day, got invited to the second round of the selection. So the first round was the portfolio, motivation letter, and then the second round of the selection. At the time, we did not have the essays. At the time, it was a physical selection day. You come, you have a computer test and a written test. And after that, there were like 5 of us who became friends during the selection day. And then after that, we chatted for a long time. After that, I did not know what to expect. I thought it went well, but there was some logical. I did not finish the selection because there was just time was not enough and I was thinking too much about things. But I felt like there was some logic question that I just did not understand what the question was asking for. So I did not have a great feeling after the selection. And if anything, the other friends I was with had a much better feeling. But then again, I'm also very critical about myself when I do things. So that explains it. But I remember the day vividly that I got in, and I messaged all the friends I made that day, and I was the only one who got in. And I had a lot of Dutch friends who were applying to medical school as well, and I was the only one who got into a medical school, which was crazy for me. I was like, wait, what? I'm the only one in my environment who I'm in contact with who got into medical school at the same time. That was crazy. But the thing is, I got in and I applied for the English one, but I got into the Dutch track. So to be able to apply for that, or to be able to qualify and accept that spot, I had to show that I was proficient enough in the Dutch language. I was already taking language classes, but I was not anywhere near the B2 level, which is needed for like a university study. So I went and I told my language school teacher, we need to fast forward this stuff so I can take the exams as soon as possible and in time for me to be able to accept my offer for medicine. So we did that. I already done that after the open day. So I kind of anticipated that I might need Dutch for this. And when I got my rank number, I had already also taken the exam and I was just waiting for the results for the language exam to finally confirm, oh, I can take the offer or not. So it's not like I started fast forwarding when I got into medical school. No. When I went to the open day, I noticed, oh, I might need the Dutch language in case, because the chances for English are low and the chance for Dutch, you have a lot more spots for Dutch than there are for English. So I went and I fast forwarded it already before. So when I got the offer, I was like, whoa, crazy, I got in. The joy was, I remember exactly, because at midnight the results come out so you can check. And at midnight I checked it and I was in and I was like, this is crazy. And then the next day they tell you if you got into the English or the Dutch one. And then I found out I got into the Dutch one. And then I was waiting out for the language exams to come out. And I remember exactly where I was in Utrecht that day when the results came out. And I literally just went to a kebab joint and treated myself because the joy I felt, and I was like, no part of me back then thought, oh, you're going to study medicine in Dutch, a language you are not speaking, you've just been speaking for a few months. No part of me thought that I was in medical school. Like the struggle, everything I had gone through till that point paid off. I got accepted into medical school in the Netherlands. Crazy. Like that was the only thing going on in my head. I was like, whoa, this is wild. This is a dream come true. No part of me could predict what was going to happen afterwards. No part of me was like, but the language, are you sure? Socially, culturally? No. In my head, worked so hard for this, it finally paid off. Thank you, Jesus. Like that was all it was in my head. And little did I know, the road ahead was going to be anything but a smooth ride. Oh, man. But yeah, so that was basically how I got into medical school. That was what the process was like for me. It was a very challenging process, but I think there was some part of me that was just very motivated. And I think when I set my mind to something, I go at it. Like I go at it till I get it done. I don't give up. So I think that just reflected in how I navigated everything, because now retrospectively looking at it, like who was I to think I could study medicine in Dutch after speaking Dutch for just a few months, like with a problem-based system of learning where you constantly have to speak and constantly have to interact with native Dutch students. I think there was just something in here that was just so convinced I have all it takes. And I feel like that conviction is something which, at least in the first phase of preparation, definitely carried me along. Just that conviction that I'm worth it. I have all it takes to study medicine. I have all it takes to study medicine in this environment as well. I think that definitely carried me a long way. So if you're in that stage where you're also planning on applying for medicine, or you're wondering if you can or if you cannot, if you're qualified or if you're not qualified, if you're going to be able to deal with the study or not, it starts here. Have that conviction, because people cannot convince you of something you don't let them convince you of. If they're trying to convince you you're not good enough, it only works if you actually believe that you're not good enough. And as long as you keep fighting that by having the strong conviction that you're good enough, you're worth it, and if you want it, that's a valid desire you have and you can go along with it. If you don't let them do that, then you have all it takes to like push through till you get there. But yeah, guys, that has been it for the first part of this video. Please let me know in the comment section what else you want to see, what else you want to hear me talk about in this series. But basically, this is the journey to becoming a medical doctor and immigrant in the Netherlands. My hope is, of course, that by sharing these stories and sharing my experience, that someone can get a lesson or two from it that also helps them in their journey. But anyways, guys, that has been it for this video, part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated with the other videos. And until next time, stay blessed and peace.